5447. Like us on Facebook, Nature's Discount Nutrition Center. Your get healthy, feel wealthy people.
It's time to do better. Beacon's Be Better Group Health Plan now offers new and improved options that make health insurance affordable for small to medium businesses. Good medical cover gives you a competitive edge and takes care of the people that take care of your business. Get a better plan to build a better business. Call Kane Agencies or log on to beacon.co.tt for more info today.
It's Domino's $30 Large Pizza Special, happening every day at 5 p.m. until closing. Save yourself $8.50 and take advantage of this fantastic deal and get a large pizza for only $30. However, this promotion is only available for 3 flavors: barbecue chicken, cheese, and pepperoni. So what are you waiting for? Come on in and get your large pizza for $30 today.
Wow, call Domino's.
Offer available for carryout only.
It's the morning show.
And welcome back to our program. It's now time for our weekly feature program. It's called Fire Talk. And each week we take some time out in the morning show and touch base with the guys from the St. Kitts and Nevis Fire and Rescue Department here in St. Kitts. Hopefully, we'll get a representative one of these times on the phone from Nevis to hear what's happening on the Nevis end. I know it's more likely the same thing, or maybe not. I'm speculating here. We'll find out sooner or later. Well, good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to the studio as usual.
Yes, good morning, listening audience. Good morning, Jigio.
Yes,
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Yes, Rommel and Timothy, Martin and Mr. Williams. Mm-hmm. What's on the agenda for today, gentlemen?
Passing the buck. All right. Yeah. So we the last time we had touched on safety. Mm-hmm. We spoke about providing help for our officers, mm-hmm. in terms of the government facility that is at Greenlands, mm-hmm. where they could help us with our problems that we face, whether it's work-related or personal.
So that you can be focused on the job.
So we can be focused on the job, exactly. All right, so we want to touch on, the freelancing, and don't attempt to do anything beyond your ability or knowledge. That is something that is very important, because we as fire officers, we have a set scope in which our training that we have attained. So you wouldn't find us going over into, let's say, a doctor's section of doing things. All right. For example, you might be on an accident scene where somebody might have difficulty breathing. You should not be hearing a fire officer say, okay, let me do a tracheostomy. That is way outside of our scope of training. Right. So we have to stick within our scope of training. From the moment you step beyond your scope of training, you're putting yourself up for liabilities and things like that. Mm-hmm. So you have to remain within your scope.
Right. Regardless of how many YouTube videos you watch.
Right, exactly. You have to be trained by a professional in order for you to end up taking on those type of responsibilities.
I'm on the street, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, YouTube will teach you everything, but they definitely don't give you a certification or accreditation. So you can't tell nobody YouTube train you.
Or experience. or experience as well, Because I've witnessed for myself, I ain't going to call a name, and is when pressure bust pipe now, we started finding out, but boy, the man ain't really training this thing,
Yeah.
He just been looking at YouTube and he said, boy, I never come across this problem yet, but I do this here so many times, and he work all the time. You know, I've been doing this now for the past 2-3 years, and this one day, he
That
think,
things went sideways.
yeah. So you know, so he couldn't lie anymore about it. He went to YouTube and you know he searched it, and then my partner like, let's go somewhere else. So I mean, it has its benefits, but
It does.
I see what you're saying though. You know, because once you're trained, you know, there are certain things that even though you might go on YouTube and see it there, that's what they tell you, read the manual, you know, because you might read the manual and tell me one thing, but then omit something else. And then he read the manual and then tell me another thing and omit something else.
Yeah.
And then that something else might be something that you work out, being on time for that, but it might be important
Very
for you and me.
exactly.
You know, so read the manual and don't jump on YouTube and feel you're a professional.
We shouldn't add the last part when you say read the manual.
But I get your point, gentlemen. I get your point. But, you know, regardless of what we're saying here and how important it is, you know, people still going to do what they want to do, you know. But I understand that you have to say it and make sure the public is aware that, you know, even though you feel that you might be in a position to help, sometimes you just have to step back and let the professionals do what they have to do.
Right, yeah.
And this may come about as well because of pressure from the general public. Sometimes we go on a scene and the general public they are pressuring the first responders. Hey, you need to do this and you need to do that and things like that. But then the first responder has to recognize that, hey, I have the training, I have the ability to perform the task at hand, so I need to stick within the confines of my training.
And trust the procedure.
And trust the procedure, exactly.
And this is where we go all the way back to now interagency relationships, because where our training ends is where somebody else's training would begin or continue. For instance, we go as far as CPR and that type of stuff. So we get on a scene where CPR is needed, we could do that. So we do that until the other persons come and take over, who would know where to go from there. So we're not going to go and do what he mentioned, a big word. We're not going to go and do that because we were not trained for that. We were trained for CPR, mouth-to-mouth, chest compressions, and you do that until help comes. When the help comes, apply pressure to open wounds. We know all of that, so we do that. And when the more trained personnel come, they take over. Well, we would have done what is called first aid.
Right.
That is all it is.
To keep the
First
person,
aid.
maintain the person.
Right. Make sure that the airway is clear, make sure that they're getting air, make sure that the blood is circulating, you stop open wounds and that type of stuff. We do that. We ain't going any further than that. Unless, of course, we have somebody on staff who is trained beyond just basic EMT.
So are you indicating that Timothy is on training? That's why he's enunciating those types of words?
Yes. But it's correct, and this could be applied even to the workplace. Do not go beyond what you are trained for. Okay? Wherever your training takes you, you stay inside of that scope. Don't try to go over and do other things. I mean, yeah, like you mentioned, the YouTube saying that teaches you a lot, you learn a lot, but you have to know when to apply. Certain things you could do it and get away with it, but other things you can't get away with watching YouTube. It will not save you. Yes, so at work we practice do not exceed what beyond, or go beyond what you're trained for.
So you guys get time to play domino? So you guys get time to play dominoes?
We don't. That's the thing, you know.
I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
That was the thing of the past. However, that too reaps its benefits because then there's you build a community. There's camaraderie between the organization and the community. So when we out on duty, these guys, they feel
part of you guys.
Right, and they feel the need to help. And these guys will come around, find you wherever you are, because we play domino together. So there's a brotherhood that was formed.
Right.
So I don't understand why people want to see it as a negativity, like wasting time. anywhere you go, they will tell you you have to find time for recreation in these type of jobs. You must, otherwise you could literally lose your mind. Right? So there has to be time for that. But of course, that is not all, and it has been some time since we have done that. Yes. So he would have mentioned freelancing. You don't freelance when you're training. Once it's training, it's training. Training is not a time for gossiping. And the information that we shared, like I mentioned, could be applied to any organization. When you're training, you're training.
Right.
This ain't a time to find out what the soap sell yesterday or what movie you watched yesterday, and then you lose the critical information that was passed. And when it's time to apply it, you don't know. So you're not freelancing when you're training. We would say this to the institutions when they're performing the fire drills, because they don't take it serious. I mean, persons are concerned about the personal stuff. They're laughing, they're on cell phone, they're sticking around, they're loitering around because they figure it's a drill, so I don't really have to be serious. But we keep telling them that you can go from a drill to a real life incident in minutes or seconds, maybe. So you have to do it, practice it. The reason for practicing it, because when the real thing happens, chances are you ain't gonna know what to do. So we encourage you not to freelance. Take training very seriously. Whatever organization you work for, take training seriously. A time is going to come when you are going to be the trainer. And if you don't have the information, I mean, what's the point of you even working in an institution for 20 years and you can't even train somebody who come in as a newbie? It makes no sense. So, yes, encourage persons to take training very seriously. Yeah.
Injury and the job is something important as well to look at, because our job is a physical job as well. When we're going out there, we have to lift hoses, pull hose. The timing that you spend on a branch extinguishing a fire, it could be tedious on the body. Now, if you are sick or ill for whatever reason, you have an injury, you have to be careful that, hey, you don't work out. Okay, doctor give me 2 weeks for my injury to be healed. Within a week, you feel a little okay, my hand, my wrist feel a little okay, I'm going back out on the job. We got to be careful regarding such decision that we make, because the injury might not be healed 100%. And when you go out there and you start to perform on this injury, it could either compound the situation, or you could put your other firefighters, your brothers and sisters at risk. So we have to be careful when we are injured to let our body heal properly, in an effort that when we get back out there in the field, we can perform to the best of our ability and not put our brothers and sisters at risk.
Gentlemen, I'm going to ask you all to put on your headphones. I'm not going to wait too late this morning because we have the cable coming in at 10 o'clock. And the lines are now open, 465-255-525-55. Anything spark your interest this morning that you want to comment on or make a suggestion on, you can do so right now, 465-2555. So, injury, you have to, and that applies to any sector, well, most sectors, I should say, of the business. Anything else you want to add to that, or you want to move on to the next topic?
While he was speaking, my mind kind of wandered, not too far from injury, but I think persons, the general public, they really should have. I mean, I think what we need to do at times, we allow the general public to come in and even allow them to go on a fire call with us. So the persons could have a greater appreciation for what we're talking about. They understand why we need to be physically fit. And you only know how fit you are when you get a good fire call. When you have to go out, and I had to go back to start to exercise again because I realized, well, you're not as fit as you think, you know.
Right.
you get a good fire call and the heat hit you. It dehydrates you. I mean, you get weak. You I mean, something you can't even breathe. You have to run. You have to drag
a lot of stress,
you're
man.
dragging a 2.5-inch line full of water, charged, and you have to drag like 2 of those. You're dragging them to fields, over hills, to shrubs. I mean, back and forth, and you have to do it because you can't allow this fire to jump to the next field.
Yes.
Because somebody has their crops here, somebody has the livestock here, somebody's property is right here. So it's a constant, your body just going overdrive for hours. And you can't stop. And in your mind, you know you can't stop, but your body really ready to shut down, but you can't stop. And so, in cases like these, it's very easy for you to get injured, as he mentioned.
Right.
And again, because of persons, for some of us who love our job so much, you want to come back out before the injury is healed. And I mean, as he mentioned, I don't want to reiterate what he said, but as he mentioned, it might compound the problem or cause the problem for another fire officer. But I don't think that there's a general... There are persons who call and they express their appreciation for what we do. And just the few that call, it really means a lot to us because it doesn't happen very often. And when it does, it really hits us because of, we know the kind of stresses that we work under, especially during the peak fire season. It is really, really stressful. So, and then we have to give thanks to God too because we go out and we come back. We go out and we come back. I work fire department for 20 years. And I can't...
Wow, that's a long time, man.
We have never lost anybody in my 20 years from a fire. So we go and we come, we go and we come. We are truly blessed. We go and we come, we go and we come. But sometimes the general appreciation for what fire officers do, for what the medical people do, for what the military does, I mean, sometimes it goes a long way. It goes a long way. It makes me want to come to work tomorrow. Right?
Gotcha, buddy.
So I just felt like saying that in passing. It probably ain't even on the slide.
No, I know, but that's okay. That's okay. And let me take this time out because we just got about 10 more minutes left before we wrap up the program. I'm surprised. I'm gonna call him out. That Jamdong ain't called yet. I'm disappointed in Jamdong. Jamdong called 2 weeks on a straight, and he said he cannot tolerate it. I should say. You know, the area being so unkept. And I know that you went out and you cleaned up the area in the back that he was.
Yes, we did some work.
About.
We're not complete yet, 100% complete, but we have done some work.
Yeah, so I was expecting Jamdong to call and say, man, I appreciate you doing it, you know, since he don't tolerate it. But
maybe he would have gotten in the last minute.
Yes.
You never know.
We have to do something. We really want jam us again.
Oh, right, man. All right, gentlemen, we're gonna wrap up our program now and make way for the cable. So any last words from you all is greatly appreciated.
Okay, I just want to touch base on something Mr. Williams said in terms of having the general public come like have a day with us, whatever, whether hours or whatever. Because I remember when I go to the U.S., whenever I go to the U.S., I always try to visit a fire station. And they have that kind of thing in place where you can actually go on a ride along with them. And I was able to be on the fire truck going on a fire scene to a fire and things like that, having the experience of what the international field is like. And for me that was very, very, exciting. So I mean that's something we could probably look at, here at the
we definitely got to look into that. I mean, I guess it might have been easier for them because you're a fire officer yourself.
Well, did you disclose that? Did you disclose that, or you just kept that to yourself?
I told him.
You didn't want to hear no. You didn't want to hear no.
But that's something that they have in place.
Regardless,
you have a form that you would have to fill out, of course.
Right.
Like a waiver of some sort.
Right.
Liability form. But it's something that they have in place.
Right. Let's take this call. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hi.
Good morning, Mr. GQ and to those gentlemen, the fire officers.
Good morning
One
to you.
more question. So I can just pop up at the fire station and there's a fire and I can go on the truck with you guys?
We're not saying that isn't in place right now, but we are talking about maybe that's something that we could look at in the future.
Okay. Just checking.
All right, man. Thanks for your call.
You're welcome.
And GQ, interestingly,
You have one potential.
that particular caller, she's very abreast with whenever fires, you know.
Oh, so you know the voice?
I know the voice very well. I know the voice very well.
Okay.
He knows everybody very well. That's just it.
Well, thanks for letting the cat out of the bag, so to speak, that you're in training, Dr. Martin. Good morning, you're live.
Morning, GQ.
Hey, good morning, Carol.
Yeah, must compliment the fire brigade for the program.
Thank you very much.
You rated, I want to give you the rate because I'm a bias. But in my mind, you're better than the police program.
Oh.
Like, who want to get extra? I learned a lot from you all. You see, you all are doing modern fire brigade operations. Where is it, Mr. Hodge? He's still there?
Yes, he is.
No, I mean in the brigade.
Which Hodge?
Who was holding on for Mr.
Mr. Ogaro?
Yeah.
Yes, he's there still.
Wait, but give him my regards. He really improved the fire brigade, yeah. Yeah, when I heard him speaking and so, I wonder where he came from. I didn't know he went to the university. But I've learned a lot, and your fire brigade is not prehistoric. You're modernized.
Thank you very much for the compliment.
Continue to improve.
Yes, he will.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. All right. Good morning, you live. Hey.
You hear them, GQ?
I hear them. I got it.
I have no serious question. One question. How do you think GQ head will look with a fire helmet on it?
Can you hold on?
GQ is a fireman, you know. He got a lot of experience.
Yeah, man. Hey, we could be.
I see out a cigarette one time on the ground. I said, well, you could be a fireman. Anyway, I enjoy the education.
Yes, man.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the fire truck ride in the States. You wish you could be up there all the time. Okay, all the best.
All the best, man.
Yeah.
But I one thing you said there that caught my attention. Regardless, you being a fireman or not, you know, the liability farm, that's important.
That is important.
You know, with all fun aside, at the end of the day, things can happen, and
Of course.
and if it does, you must be willing to accept the
Yes.
responsibilities
Yes.
of your
Yes.
own actions.
Yes.
So you have a lot to take into consideration.
Of course.
Yeah.
This isn't something that, you know, would just pop up tomorrow, you know. Yeah, you have to be considered.
Yeah,
really.
yeah, indeed. Well, gentlemen, thank you for informing us here, as Eliza, and the public as well. You know, like the callers expressed, I just echoing the same sentiments. I've learned a lot, honestly. I see why you guys have to be on the ball, so to speak. The amount of information that you guys bring in here, from, you know, how to out a fire on a plane is not the same as out in a fire in a house, and the list goes on and on. So really appreciate it, and you know, it's a eye-opener, so to speak, to the fire and rescue department here in St. Kitts and Nevis. So thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Indeed.
All right. I think I'm going to take the last word because
Yes, of course.
I don't want this pointing thing going on again with you guys. I'll catch you all next week.
Yes, yes.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And stay tuned. Coming up in about 3 minutes or less, we'll have the cable in the building with us. And I don't know what's on the table for discussion this morning, but I know they have their 12 weeks Christmas promotion going on right now.
During the 12 weeks of Christmas, the cable gave to me free internet connectivity with lots of prizes and surprises for my loyalty, proving